listener. It's episode 34 of Snap on This, a Marvel Snap podcast. I'm your host, LaurenWhatevs, here today with the usual amazing co-hosts. First up, Ben, how was your weekend snap? And keep it snappy.
Well, my weekend snap, endeavoring to keep it snappy as I so often do. Another pretty light week. I'm still facing mostly bots, which is not as much fun as I think some people would think, or maybe it's not as much fun for me as it would be for some other people. I'm not telling you how much fun to have when you get the season where they're making you play exclusively bots. I don't know. Yeah, you'll cross that bridge when you come to it, and we'll see how you like it. It stinks. I don't know. I know that Scott at Snap.fan has a theory that there is something off with the bot distribution. They're serving some people a lot of bots at different times, different seasons or whatever. That's his theory, and I don't know, lines up with my experience because like I usually see a lot of bots, but like some seasons I'm seeing like a lot of bots, and this is maybe the worst season. Also, I'm not sure if this has anything to do with anything, but it's specifically a lot of first name bots, like people with like names like Jake and like stuff like that. Also a lot of Marvel character bots. I'm running into a lot of Lokis, that sort of thing. Venom, that kind of stuff. Like, so those are two kinds of bots that I'm seeing a lot of: Marvel character name and generic first name.
And that bot variance is my experience too. Like I had a bot heavy season, but I've had some that are almost botless, and it's inscrutable.
I haven't had one of those in a long time, unfortunately. Mostly, like, they seem to be moderately body to extremely body in the past 6 months or so, at least as far as I'm aware. It's hard to keep very careful track. But, yeah, I'm playing against the bots. It's not that exciting. Like, there's no incentive. Like, usually I get excited about trying new things and, like, testing new decks. But, like, what am I going to learn playing against bots? There's nothing. Like, I can't find out if an idea is good or bad, or like if it's real or anything like that. So Snap has kind of felt a little bit on the empty side for me because I don't like comp stomping. It's just not my life. But ironically enough, I have been playing a shit ton of the Bazaar, which there's PvE stuff there, and even when you battle other players, it's just their ghost and stuff, but like, hey, that's auto battlers, and I like to, I can check my stat screen and see how many other people's ends have been, or runs have been ended by my ghosts, and that's nice to know that I'm out there crushing dreams, even sort of passively. That's exciting. Anyway, still having a lot of fun with that game. And I've got, I played some Snap, and even though I haven't learned anything about the quality of this deck, I'll tell you about a deck that I built and played against all these friggin' bots.
Great. Ambiguous quality deck is what I'm here for.
Yep, that's right. This is a Surfer. It's an ongoing themed sort of Surfer. No Spectrum or anything, but there is Goliath. It's Ant-Man, Goliath, Sam Wilson, Mr. Fantastic, Brood, Silver Surfer, Captain America, Sebastian Shaw, Wong, Captain Carter, Iron Lad, and Sarah. Not really sure it's like justifying somebody forgot to silence their phone before the podcast. Anyway, it was me, for the record. But yeah, I'm not sure about Goliath. There are 9 ongoings, 10 if you count the shield, and also if you count Iron Lad. I'm counting Iron Lad as an ongoing. And like, yeah, that
often, right?
Is like it's kind of cuspy for Goliath. I don't know. 2-5 is exciting, but it's not that exciting. So like, I'd really rather see a 2-6 or something, 2-7 maybe. But yeah, I can't tell if that deck is any good, but it's good enough to beat bots. There's another deck that I built that I'm more excited about that feels to me more winning. But that's a Kahhori deck, and I think maybe I'll save that for Kahhori discussion. So that's been my weekend snap. And again, we had a crappy Token Tuesday, and hopefully next week will be a good one. But also maybe don't buy Token Tuesdays because it seems like there's going to be something better to do in terms of exchanging gold for tokens in the near future. So keep an eye out for that.
I think you're right. Kay, Ree, how was your weekend, Snap?
So I finally did, as Ben drifted away from Snap into some bizarre game, I came back. Not really thanks to, like, so I was like, the game will entice me back. No, it was more like yesterday marked kind of a whole week, and I was like, I gotta get back in before the podcast. I won't lie, I had dreams of, like, staring at the beigest corded phone from the 90s, thinking about Marvel Snap. Is it missing me? You know, when I hear the first resonant chords of the legendary theme from Guitar Man, the PlayStation 2 game, and I'm like, oh my god, who's playing one of my heart songs? And there it is, Marvel Snap outside my window, the radio. No, that didn't happen at all. So I get back in, and I was playing Safety's Flex Tape deck. Somebody already talked about that last week?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either, but I have played quite a bit of it.
Okay,
it's been in our thoughts and in our hearts and minds and stuff.
As per usual. So no thanks to Marvel Snap. Safety brought me back with the promise of playing mini cards I like in a Safety style deck, which Safety does the thing I love, which is like, how can I have a little toolbox to always have a chance to win? And that's exactly the deck I love to play. And this deck has Elsa. I just love to play Elsa and Gwenpool and Galacta. So already it's a lot of fun. And Kitty Pryde, who I enjoy. And I haven't really played since we were doing Sanctum. And for all those fours, you have a Zabu. Red Guardian's still the best all-arounder tech, in my opinion. Nothing has surpassed him yet, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the old poor Jug. You know, if you don't have Red Guardian, Jug's probably the one there. But Captain America Sam Wilson. I really thought turning the shield off of one was going to ruin Sam Wilson Captain America for me. But I was wrong. What it ruined for me was Marvel Boy. Oh, because who do I still play all the time and who never gets played anymore? Marvel Boy. I'm so sad. I'm sad for myself. Okay. And Adam Starr, who I also know loves Marvel Boy. If you're listeing. Okay.
Yes, he
Not
knows.
that I don't know.
Novar. I know his name because
Get
of
it
that.
right.
Yeah. I mostly, everything I know about Marvel Boy is from Marvel Snappler's thread.
It's a great thread, though.
Yeah, I need to read it.
I also know the cockroach thing about how he's a Kree cockroach guy, and I didn't learn that from Adam. That's like the one fact you learn about Marvel Boy over and over, in much the same way that the one fact you learn about Hulkling over and over is that he's not technically a Hulk, but he's a real Bruce Banner. Yeah. Anyway, you know.
Yeah.
But there's always that one fact that like gets drilled into you by whatever like game you're playing or whatever. You know, the thing. It's
the most unique,
the
fact,
shallow fact.
Right.
For sure. Okay.
Sorry.
Finishing off. No, we're good. I just let me finish the deck just because I haven't said it all. It's mostly, like I said, a lot of good cards with versatile tools like Iron Patriots here. Rocket, Raccoon, and Groot, if I haven't mentioned them. Captain Carter, kind of, I think, the whole, what he was putting this deck together for. Hope and Jeff, you know? Just some good cards that are fun and flexible. I got in. And I immediately Okay, I like mean emoted someone for the first time in like quite a while. And it was actually hard because like, okay, here's what happened is we get in and their name, here's the thing about your Marvel, about names and stuff is there's so many parts of like our initial impressions and first greetings that are out of our control, about who we are and the way we look. But like you get to choose your name in game, or if you want to present yourself as I do, as the Spider-Gwen, like graffiti emote with the like, so whatever, I don't care, I'm upside down, which is how I like to present myself lately. So if you choose a name that is, I don't think should technically be against the terms of service, but makes me dislike you to your very core on the basis of how you chose to identify your very self. Yes, and I did, and I beat them. I muted them immediately. Because like that's all these people ever want is my attention, which I refuse to give them. And then, after I muted them, I proceeded to whip them soundly. And then I unmuted them at the very end. And then I was like, okay, what am I'm so mad. I hate them. Like, what am I gonna, and Miss Marvel is what I think of first, but really I feel like Miss Marvel is a sore loser emote, right? It's like, you lost, but I want to take that feeling of losership and bounce it off me and back to you. You're the loser, you know? But in this case, I'm not. I'm the winner. And so I'm reaching, and, usually the only emotes I use are like Gambit Hard Eyes, like when I run into mandatory burnout and ladder, or sometimes a Scarlet Witch, usually at the end of a friendly match in which I won, but I want to let my opponent know, hey, it was real close. Either of us could have got it.
Yeah, of course.
And this time, so I reached, and in a panic, because I only had limited time, I went for Deadpool, Sassy Deadpool.
Sassy Deadpool.
But it wasn't the right thing, because Sassy Deadpool is more of like, I'm so naughty, like kind of thing. And what I really wanted to say to this person was like, I hope that every step you take in the future ends in a baker's dozen of tiny, sharp objects until the wreckage that was your feet matches the ruins of wasted human potential that comprises the rest of you. And
there wasn't an emote for that?
Yeah, is there a Hallmark emote for that? That's what I wanted to say to them. So anyway, I couldn't think of anything in time, but like, I reached for the mean emote and it wasn't there because I don't go there often. Anyway, dilemmas. Emote dilemmas. That was my day in Snap yesterday. Started playing Snap again. Yes, but we're back. I'm excited. I want to play Kahhori with some Dino and stuff. Also, I feel validated because when I'm hearing around and it's just like very vague hearings because I've like just been kind of out of it for a while, is that people think Captain Carter isn't super great. So I feel justified in my 2-star. And then people also aren't liking Kahhori as much or something. So I'm like, maybe my 3-star was a little more on. She said, who said that nobody cares about rankings ever previously. Okay.
Yeah. Sassy Deadpool misused is one of the most, bothersome emote uses to me. I'm just like, there are so many good ways to use this emote. You don't use it when you win a 50-50. Like, you didn't do anything clever.
It should be fun, right? It should be
a
real
good ways to use it.
It wasn't that cute what I just did, not like it's not another Miss Marvel. Don't turn all the good emotes into Miss Marvels.
But I fully support using mean emotes towards people who self-report as bad people.
Right? You chose this for yourself. All right. Sorry.
My week in Snap, I mean, probably for sure the most notable thing I did was join an interview with Guest and Nina and Binks with the new, what's his title? Matt, he's the senior product manager, I think, of Second Dinner, or at least of Marvel Snap. He's the new Steven, if you were familiar with Steven.
There's Steven left.
I think Steven's still at Second Dinner, but I don't know if he's like a higher level or like if he's working on the new game. I'm not sure.
Okay, get it.
And I could be wrong, but that's my understanding is he is not working on Snap anymore, but he's still at Second Dinner. Anyway, got to interview Matt. That is on the official Marvel Snap YouTube channel. Certainly the biggest audience I've ever had. Well, I mean, I guess I don't see numbers for Marvel Snap Zone. Maybe something there has been bigger, but I would imagine it's YouTube. That's, a pretty casual, friendly space. Anyway, it was fun. So we gotta ask him some questions about Snap Packs, and we already honestly knew a lot about them, but got a few extra answers. We got the prices and
I learned some things from watching it.
Yeah, and I don't know. Do we want to talk about it now or save it for later?
Yeah, talk about it.
Okay,
Lori.
It's on the show notes later, but this was kind of my weekend Snap. So yeah, the prices are great. They're within the range that I predicted on Snap Zone. They're on the very bottom of the range, so they are low. I mean, I've seen plenty of people say they're not low enough, but they're the low end of what I expected. And then I thought that the goodies would be an extra 4 or 5% value, and Matt said they're going to be about 10% extra value, which is pretty good. So yeah, 5,000 tokens for new cards. You get to choose. Like, do you want a discount for randomness? Or do you want to pay full price to get the cards you want? I still don't know how I feel about them overall. I think they're probably better for most players. But the way they're trying to be better for new players is not by improved acquisition speed, but by improved targeting. Like, it's easier to get into the deck you want to play. That's maybe a good thing, but the token shop spots that are rotating, they're bad, right? Like, if I'm looking for my first Series 3 card, there's 125 of them right now. I'm going to check my phone 3 times a day for the one Series 3 card I'm looking for. If I miss it, I have to wait for another entire cycle through. It's bad.
Honestly,
and I hope to
that was bad when I was in Series 3.
Yeah.
Oh, geez, that was so long ago. There were so few cards, and it seemed like impossible to get the one you wanted there. Huh.
Yeah, such a pain.
Yeah, that must be terrible.
So there's pros and cons. I think that it probably is a good thing to get people into the deck they want to play faster. But I need to see improvements there, right? And I think we will see them, but I hope that it doesn't take too long. Like, even if it was 3 rotating slots per series, it would go 3 times faster. Like, that would help. I don't know. I will certainly do a big analysis on Snap Zone once we have all the information. We still don't know what the goodies drop tables look like. But they did announce Snap Packs are coming April 29th, end of the month. So if I were a more disciplined human being, I would be saving my resources. But instead, I'm spending 6,000 tokens and 3 keys to get the Kahhori Spotlight variant.
I think I saw a team answer that they're gonna force the update 2 days after the update releases, so there'll actually be 2 days where you could get Hydra Stomp or the old way.
Yeah, with spotlights, and he'll have 2 spotlight cards with him. To be announced. I mean, they're in the data mines, but hey, maybe they'll change them up.
Who knows?
They have data mines for spotlights going out quite a bit longer, in case the second, what is it? June? I don't remember. June 6th or something. Nope, that's my wedding day. June 1st? I don't know. Whatever the first patch in June is, that was going to be the alternative release date for Snap Packs, and I think that they have spotlights going out at least that far, maybe even further. TBD, what is going to happen with spotlight variants? That did not come up. There was not a clear answer we did ask Matt about it, and it sounds like they don't know yet, but they do want to continue Spotlight variants and also like continue new Spotlight variants and bring back the old ones somehow.
Mm-hmm. The plan is not to do away with Spotlight variants just because the Spotlight caches are going.
Yeah. I expect it'll just be the new cards that'll get Spotlight variants, not like, every series 4 and 5 card.
The path of least resistance. Yeah.
It's probably a good thing given how that went.
An easier way to ensure like a really good special Spotlight variant.
Yeah. And I think, just like the week a card releases, let the Spotlight variant be available for 2,000 or 3,000 tokens. Like, that's great. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or some gold. Whatever. Okay. I already brought up Kahhori. I was trying to do a smooth segue, but here we are. A 4/6 Kahhori, Reshaper of Worlds. On reveal, each card in your hand gives one of your cards in play +1 power. I already told you how I got her. How did you get her? If you did.
Me, I got her, and I spent tokens. That's what I did.
Same.
Yeah. And I have even played the card. I know, right? Wild.
What?
So often I'm playing these new cards. Do I do it for the podcast? Maybe. I don't know. The deck that I decided to play has a bunch of cards. It's not a deck that I decided to play. It's a deck that I built, and I built it with a bunch of cards that I don't really play ever at all. Let me tell you about the cards I don't play in it. Snow Guard. Never. Oh my gosh. I won a game last night by snow guarding. I turned off Limbo on turn 6.
Yeah, she's still great. People never think you're gonna play it.
Yeah, like the opponent had all the information. I was like, "Is this actually gonna work?" Sure enough,
I remember. It's like
and
Echo.
This was a human too. This was not a bot. This was one of my human matches. So I was delighted because I never do location based scam things.
Sad. They're like the invisible girl. You're like, I feel invisible, and it's like, no, honey, Echo. Everyone sees you there.
Yeah.
Boom goes the Morbius.
Snow Guard is a new friend, other new friend, Valentina. You know what? I'll say it. Countess Valentina Allegra de Fontaine. Yeah, I went there. Victoria Hand. Never really played her either. But playing her in this deck, pretty cool.
She's a fun card, yeah.
So those are the 3 cards that I never ever play that are in this deck. But the other cards are Zabu, Kate Bishop, Iron Patriot, Sebastian Shaw, Galactus, Scarlet Spider, Kahhori, Wiccan, and Magneto. So there are 2.
I like this.
2 juicy little Kahhori sponges. You got Sebastian Shaw and Scarlet Spider, a card for whom I am always rooting, but I don't often play. I don't even, But yeah, I got 4 drops in there, so Zabu made sense. Again, mostly I'm playing against bots, but it's mostly just stomping them. Feels pretty good. Like, this does feel like a pretty solid deck. It's relatively Mobius proof because we're not really trying to do like too much cost reduction stuff. We're not running Quinjet. We're not running Loki. I thought about running Loki because speaking of cards that I literally never play, I was like, do I want to do all of them? Do I want to play all the unfamiliar ones? No, I decided not to. So, like, sure, you'll hurt for the Zabu discount and the Valentina thing, and Iron Patriot. I guess, yeah, Mobius will still hurt this deck because that's just what he does. But Wiccan is Mobius proof and all that. So, I found Kahhori to work pretty well in it. I took some screenshots of some absolutely phenomenally huge Sebastian Shaws. Like, I was like, I won a TVA game with like a 420 or a 320 rather Sebastian Shaw. Like,
that's beautiful.
Wow. Some cool things happen, but even when nothing like silly is happening, like the stats are pretty solid. It seems like, I don't know how much card generation you have to run to like justify running Kahhori. In this deck, I've got Snow Guard, Hawkeye, Iron Patriot, and Valentina, and that feels like plenty. Oh wow! So yeah, Kahhori seems fine to me. Again, mostly I've been playing against bots, but for the past 24 hours, I've mostly been crushing it with this deck. That's my feeling.
Did you say you didn't get to play her yet?
No, I have together. What I did is I put Devil Dino in Kahhori, and I'm like, this is what I know what I want to do. And then I was like, auto builder, give me the magic. And then I deleted Kahhori and Devil Dino to see, like, would you replace them with these two? I don't trust you. And then it did. And I was like, all right, I'll give it a try. It's so many cards I like. It's a lot of crossover with Benj, just a different direction. It's got Victoria Hand, but it's like Agent Coulson, Maria Hill, Quinjet, but still Snowguard. I do love Snowguard. I miss playing her because, like, I hated the Telegraph, but people never see it coming. Like, I'm sure if you're, like, into a big tournament or something, you know, where you're against, I mean, they're going to remember that, but average player has Snowguard blindness. Mirage. I am always wanting to play more Mirage. Not only is she like her variants. This is what pisses me off about Shaw's power being given to Shaw. It's like, woo, I made a Mr. Pilgrim super giant. Like, give me someone shiny and sparkly and cool, you know? Like, I want to, like, I don't know. I'm sorry. Does it, you could, don't tell me you're a little disappointed that's like Sebastian Shaw of all people that you're like juicing it.
No, not really. It's
no?
Like,
okay.
It's appropriate to his mutant power and stuff, and I don't know.
This is the story of my life. Like, we all feel this way, right? And it's like, no, literally.
I would much rather pump up a cute card. That's for sure.
Okay, yeah. Right? Okay.
Yeah, or at least I would much rather play cards of characters that I like and I don't have any.
Well, I mean, like, I don't like Sebastian Shaw, but like as a 90s kid, he was in a lot of X-Men comics and things.
I'm not familiar with him that well.
Well, yeah, you know, he's always sipping brandy and being more important than other people wearing vests, you know, hanging out with other
cool lady
mutants who wore vests. That was very much his thing.
But then I tried brandy and it's just like, I hate it. But I want to be a cool detective sipping brandy.
There's a few other.
That's my dream for hard liquor. All right, sorry.
There's a few others you could try.
This also had Wiccan. Sorry, this deck with Kahhori and like Frigga. I was like, hell's yeah, you know, like unexpected stuff like Iron Patriot and Hawkeye and stuff. But anyway, yeah, I'm excited to try it. I'm sorry that I didn't. You know, we record this fairly quickly after the new card release.
It's true. So. Yep. Just barely 24 hours. This week, some weeks are different, but that's how it is this week. Kahhori, this is just, you know, I'm going to be straight up honest. I ranked her best of the season. I thought she was going to be great. I think I fell for a little bit of best case scenario syndrome or whatever. Like, you know, I was thinking about, I didn't build a whole deck around her. I was thinking about 2-card combos that are great. I was thinking about, well, she's Gwenpool or Galacta, except you can play her on turn 6. And yes, she's limited to certain decks, whereas the other two are quite flexible. And so I would have told you Gwenpool and Galacta are better cards, but I still thought Kahhori would be, you know, in that range of power buff girls. And people have been very disappointed by her. I don't think she's bad. I think it's the same thing as Captain Carter, where we've had a few seasons of busted cards and people expect a good card to like warp the meta. And it's like, doesn't have to do that to be a perfectly serviceable card. She may not be best of the season, but she's good. She's fine.
She's been out for like 5 minutes and people just want to like feel right about something. I don't know. Or like, they just want to like jump on board to like an extreme position. Like, I don't know. I think that you'll be vindicated in the end. I think Kahhori's a good card. That's what I think.
Yeah. I have been posting my like preseason rankings. There's a few I've skipped, but I've been doing it for over a year. And this was the first time where I had 2 people within the first 12 hours like respond on Twitter, like calling me out, like, oh, how are you feeling about that number 1 rank now? It's not too late for you to lower her. I'm like, what? It hasn't even been a day.
Oh
like,
my gosh.
Chill.
My goodness.
Jeez.
People are silly.
Yeah. Anyway, some people are high on her. KM Best was also high on her and still enjoys her. I saw him post a deck today where he was having a 70% win rate with her. That seems pretty good. He's top 100. So
famous
she seems playable.
Enjoyer of bad cards, KM Best. Yes, always making apologies for Cope. Yep, that's him.
So this is a cycle that we see a lot where there's a card that comes out, everyone's trying to play it in the best case killer combo thing, and then it's not great there, and so everybody thinks the card's bad. But then somebody plays it in a moderate way or in a small package, and it turns out it's pretty good. And I think she's kind of like that. That said, I've the past 24 hours I've only been playing her in absolutely silly stuff, trying to get gigantic Shaws. It turns out if you make your Shaw too big, people just retreat. But I do have several Shaws that hit 20 plus power.
Gotta hide the size of your Shaw.
Yeah. And this is one downside she has versus like Gwenpool, right? Is like Gwenpool gives you hidden information like snap equity, and Kahhori doesn't have that. You don't get to choose where Kahhori puts the power, and it's all right out there.
The hidden information about Kahhori is that she's in your hand.
Yeah, and so I think sometimes it may turn out the best way to play Kahhori is on the last turn. I don't know. I've only done silly stuff with her so far. One of the combos I was trying quite a lot came from Wombat Combat. I did change up his deck a little bit, but this is a dream where we play lots of ones to the board, and then on the last turn, we falcon them up, we use Kahhori, and then we play Bullseye. So like we have all these cards in our hand for Kahhori, and then we send them all back out with Bullseye. And we can also activate Lasher if he's still around. Lasher, also a card that enjoys getting hit by Kahhori because he doubles every hit.
I wanted to put Lasher in my deck. I could not. Couldn't quite get there.
Around. I got Ajax. I haven't even played with him. All right.
Oh, Lasher's I think Lasher is... there's no way he's not underplayed, right? Like Lasher after Galacta
I've been thinking about it
210.
harder. I think Lasher might be intrinsically I don't think it's the meta's fault. I don't think that this is a good card whose opportunity is not coming around. I think Lasher might not be a good card. That's what I think.
Really?
Yeah. I kind of agree. I've played a decent amount of Lasher, and for what you can get out of him, you feel like you can do better things. Because if you're gonna try and do Galacta stuff. Well, holding him that long, usually at that point, it's just better to Scarlet Spider or something like that, right? And then if you're playing him early and you're buffing him, then you're usually not doing a negative, an affliction deck. So it's then that slot becomes better for something that goes more with what you are doing. You know what I mean? That's what I've seen.
He's not an engine card, and he
not
takes
to say he's bad.
He takes a lot of investment to hit the level of other 2-cost scalers.
And I think you just get more return on the investment when you invest in like different kind of payoff cards like that, like Scarlet Spider, as Ree said. Or I think like this is a card that asks you to throw other cards' efforts behind it, and I just don't think it converts that into enough benefit. Is my feeling.
I honestly feel like he may even be better as something like an on reveal where you felt like you could play him last turn
much.
too.
Yeah,
you know,
I would love to make a huge lasher in my hand and then play it.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Where he is at Activate, he's really, really pretty niche where you're going to like find the intersection that there aren't a better card for that slot for what you're trying to do.
You know, I think they could just make it an on reveal and it would be a very good card, but not too good. And
I know, this is how I felt about Activate all along.
Line and everything. And
Activate is a huge downside, for sure.
I was so surprised because, like, why would they introduce such a keyword that, like, I assumed that, like, they wouldn't introduce it if it weren't in many, if not most cases, like, superior to on reveal. But, like, they're like, well, variety's good, right? And they're right. Variety is good, but like it's just so strange that the variety they chose to add was bad on reveal.
It is really powerful. It's just really telegraphed. But there are times where people's symbiote, I mean, it's a situation where you can retreat, but like It's just like they have the symbiote Spider-Man out, and you're like, well, I'm not going to beat the Galactus or whatever when they do it, or,
But there are, like, I get the telegraphed point, and that's definitely part of it, right? Like, yes, probably Lasher as an on-reveal would be better, but, we look at Morbius or Goliath, or Angela, there's, like, good 2-cost scalers that are face up on the board the whole time, and we don't think of them
Morbius
as
and Goliath don't
bad.
have to be. They can also be turn 6 champions.
Yeah, that's true.
It was just the promise of where you wanted to determine the turn it happened, like something with Black Swan, but it just ends up being like it just feels more limiting when you can.
Yeah,
also to shoot down the third example, Angela is kind of right now.
You don't like Angela right now, huh?
But I remember Angela. Yes. I do see what
Angela's
you're saying.
still good because Shadow King is just actually garbage. For a while, I was like, Shadow King is underplayed, but like now anymore, I'm just kind of like, I've tried, and it's just like he's just so rarely useful.
Well, especially with all the ongoing around right now.
Right, and then it's just like
this might not be the moment.
Yeah, but even surprising because I'm like everyone is playing buffing stuff and everything, and then I don't know. I put him in some ongoing decks of mine, like offensively, and he was just always a bad play. I wanted to swap him out. It's just so weird. Should be good.
Yeah, I mean, I think you really. The ongoing thing, I think that a lot of the power on the board right now is less likely to be that, Shadow King cancelable kind. I don't know.
Yeah, I also lied. A lot of it's just big power. You have your star brands and like all that nonsense out where it's just like, what's Shadow King doing against that? You're going to hit their Surtur, but you're going to lose to their other,
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because I have been winning with Valk plenty lately, and she's, in a lot of ways, she's Shadow King, but...
No, because she does beat a Cull Obsidian.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. I'm glad you brought that up because she has the ongoing problem, but she does not have the problem with the big guys, which is she's kind of Shadow King and Shang at the same time.
I need more Valk in my life. For sure.
I saw people recently, I think it was on Cozy's and Alex's podcast, but somebody in the comments was talking about making Falca 4, and I'm just like, I don't think you can.
It can't be done. No.
Yeah, she's not too good at 5-3, but she would be busted at 4-3.
I agree.
I think they were talking about it on Snap Judgments recently. Maybe that's... I don't know.
Captain Carter has that problem too, right? Where she's very hard to adjust. And maybe you can't adjust her because if you did,
she'd be nuts.
She would either just be too bad or too good.
The biggest bummer I found about her is she's when you get shanged, it hurts. It usually hits both things you got in your back row and often her, and you're like, youch.
Yeah. How often are you getting her to 10 plus power?
I like to play me some Gwenpool and some Galacta, and
Yeah.
It's been happening. Sometimes the locations help you out. There's plenty of times you get giant Peggy Carter.
Hot Nadavalier on Wednesday. Kahhori Spotlight Friends. What are we going to do with this section when the snapbacks hit? Cull Obsidian and Hydra Bob. Cull's a 4/10 you can only play at a spot where you've got a 1 cost. Hydra Bob's a 1/4 that moves when either player snaps it, and he moves at the end of the turn. Don't see a lot of either right now, but Sanctum's gonna come back maybe next month. And Hydra Bob, I loved Hydra Bob in Sanctum, where you can snap almost every turn.
Hydra Bob is still pretty good in regular constructed and stuff.
Yeah, I think he's still good.
Yeah, I play Hydra Bob a lot.
A power, he's still way better than Martyr. Bums me.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, that move ability is good.
Yeah, there are some locations where that you win because you have Hydra Bob.
Yep.
Yep, I think it's a good card, and agreed. 1/4 is a good place for him because the 1/5s, like the Titania and Martyr are awkward.
Yeah, they're 1/5s with I mean, sure, Titania, her downside is like not exactly a downside, but like it's kind of a downside. Like, you really have to manage it. But like Hydra Bob, you do have to manage him, but like that's an upside. Like essentially, like at its core, like you have the ability to move him. If you wait for your opponent to be the first snapper or whatever, like you can control. I don't know. I think that Hydra Bob is better than a vanilla 1/4. That's my feeling. I'd rather have Hydra Bob.
Yep.
Yeah.
And a vanilla 1/4 would be quite good and playable. So
yes, absolutely.
That should tell you something.
Cull, I don't see anymore now that Sam's shield is a 0 cost, but he's got to still be good, right? Like, maybe not inserter anymore, but I don't know. The Thanos things. I don't know where Cull goes anymore,
Thanos,
honestly.
I kind of still see him around in those kind of decks, but I agree, yeah. His peak of power was when the shield was the one cost.
Yeah. He's really awkward because Surtur doesn't want to run 1 costs as far as I know. And if you only have one cost,
Surtur
it runs like what,
Zabu sometimes.
End of list, right?
Yeah, but just 1 cost is not enough for Cull. So that's I mean,
think about Wiccan decks as well. You know what I mean? There are times where it's like you're gonna have a 1. There's still plenty of Wiccan decks out there playing Quicksilver.
I'm sure Cull Obsidian will be good again. And I could be wrong about him not being good now. But it's a 410 with the downside is he's hard to get to the board. But once he's there, he doesn't have downside.
That's what I'm saying. There's plenty of decks that are already meeting that requirement, in which case he's a good card to include.
His biggest problem is that he doesn't do anything. That's all there is.
If you like Quicksilver, he's great.
And he's not the easiest.
What's wrong with raw power, Ben?
Well, he's not the easiest 410 to play, and that's what's wrong with raw power in this case. There's other raw power available more readily. Also,
we have cards like Galacta and Gwenpool and Kahhori that can easily top 410. That's another thing to say about Kahhori is like, even if you only have 4 cards in your hand, she's still a 410. Like, I don't know what people expect from her for her to be good. Okay, we have an OTA this week. First up, Rocket and Groot losing a power 3/3 to 3/2. They kind of just were generically strong 3-cost card.
This is true.
Go ahead, Ben.
My feeling is that, like, I don't know. I understand that Rocket and Groot has been like a very popular and powerful card. I honestly didn't think it was that big a problem. I mean, I'm not like, I don't think it's unfair that this terrible injustice has been done to Rocket and Groot or anything, but like, was it really getting, I guess it must have been, but yeah, I wasn't that offended by it, but this is fine. It just sucks because like after that, if you only proc it once, it's a 3/4, and that's like real not good. I don't know.
But it moves.
It does. You're probably procking it, 2 to 3 times.
That's such a huge part of it. Like, the fact that it can both get power and move, and you're also somewhat dictating where your opponent plays. I was playing this in a ton of my stuff. It was too good. It doesn't need to go with anything else. I'm always in my decks. I hate not including a way to get into a locked location of some sort, either something that moves or can like repopulate in a different area. And then this is just the power to ding off, just the satisfaction you get when you had that prio and you played it and they put like an Iron Man on top of it and you're like, it's a bad start for you with your double -2 power. So I did just do that recently, which is why it is fresh. The satisfaction of it is still wafting off of me. Okay, so I can't disagree. I think it's just too good and it requires nothing. It goes in everything.
Yeah. I don't think it was like offensively good, but maybe it's just that it was so clearly better than other 3s
Mm-hmm.
That I can kind of get on board with. Like, yeah, it kind of was just the best 3.
And it required no support of any kind. That's a very good point. It is just a freestanding...
If you're playing it as late as 5, it's still good, you know, and you can still move it if that's what you need from it to win a lane.
Like now, if you play it on 5, you're probably not getting...
It depends. Like, sometimes that's when people are dropping a bunch of their cards in a lane. You know what I mean? It's just, it's one of those, if you are playing, I am often playing to spoil my opponent's good time. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. This is a card that I play a lot. I'm just saying, like, I've never felt like I'm saying
in comparison, for something that is a mover that I always want to include in my deck, it doesn't feel as bad to play. It can still get more powerful if I'm playing it later, like on 5. And then at 6, when it's like, okay, I don't want to play it then unless I really, you know, like had nothing better or whatever. It's like, this is a 3-cost slot it's taking up. It doesn't feel as bad sitting in my hand as when, there's nothing sadder than like when you're staring at a hand with a giant ass Kitty Pryde in it and also like some giant ass other things. And you're like, I can't play you all. And you're also very large and would like to be on the board, you know, I don't have the energy.
I do give you all. I
would like to. Okay.
Yeah. Passing on a kitty that you've invested in is like a hard decision, but
so
sometimes
sad.
it's the right one.
Sometimes it's correct.
This is my problem with how I buff things. Is sometimes I just end up with a handful of like, you know, just way too good of cards on it. Anyway. Yeah. Sorry. So I agree. I think Rocket and Groot can. I mean, you're not playing an old standard Groot next to Rocket and Groot.
You are apparently. I don't know.
Not anymore.
That's true.
Not anymore.
Still playing a lot of Rocket and Groot.
MODOK and first Ghost Rider, these were together in the patch notes. They're shifting some of the power from the discard package. MODOK's going from 5.8 to 5.7. First Ghost Rider goes from 2.5 to 2.6.
Yeah.
I think it's funny because Ghost Rider was changed in the data mines from 2.6 to 2.5 like right before it came out.
Like I
have some conviction.
No, for real. Stick to your guns.
This is so good because. Sorry, were you about to?
No, you go on.
Okay, because I do play a lot of discard, and MODOK goes pretty much in every single type of discard. Even like, so if you have like the the Hades dog.
Cerberus.
There we go. Thank you. The 3-headed dog. You know, there's the meme where it's like 2 and like the doofy one. And if that's the discard, like sub archetypes, like the goofy one is Helicarrier. We all know it. Okay. But it's a lot of fun though. But they all take MODOK. MODOK goes in everything. So like you always basically like, yes, I would like to discard my whole hand. So, and you know, 5 is pretty good. So I think this is good. And moving it to the first Ghost Rider, who is like been kind of a rough play for me, honestly. I haven't really been.
He's the opposite of MODOK. He's very niche, very few discard decks.
Yes, exactly. So I think this is a good swapperoo of power.
Yep, I like it. It really is wild. Like MODOK, like I can understand how they came up with 5.8, right? Like discard your whole hand. That should be a huge downside. But it's just like there's so many cards that want to be discarded.
It's
and he was 5.9 for a while, right? I didn't imagine that, did I?
What? Was he? I'll check on SnapFan for a second. I don't think so.
What,
I think
MODOK?
he's always been 5.8.
Was he 5.9 for a minute? I feel like he was 5.9 at
so.
one point.
That doesn't sound right. I feel like
We'll know in just a second. They have a whole history here. Nope, always 5.8.
Okay. Well, he's always been 5.9 in my heart. He still is.
I knew that was coming.
He still is.
I'm not disappointed. 2 more cards that they packaged together in the report: Devil Dinosaur and Patriot. Both low series cards getting a little buff. Devil Dinosaur timely with Kahhori. I'm guessing this is one of the ones that's been on their list for a while, and then they saw like, oh, like Kahhori week might be a good week to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm excited. I've been like, right, exactly. Because of Kahhori, I've been wanting to play some more Dino. As I've said, I love Dino decks because it usually means you have a whole hand option of cards, which I love. The problem is there's so many cards that gen cards now, as you often, it's hard to not get a hand that's not like too full of cards. You're like, too many. Let me draw. But Patriot still feels so boring. Like, I don't know. I feel like, right? Like, if you're doing Patriot, you're like trying to Mystique Ultron, right? Like,
it's a very straightforward deck. Yeah.
The last time I had fun was like an Invis Woman before Ultron was even buffed, and you had Dazzler, and like it was some real shenanigans happening. And now I'm just like, I'm sorry. It's like we're all just like, we're glad Patriot is there so that there's always like a solid deck for like the low collection players. And it's like, I'm sorry I'm sorry that's what you are, Patriot, but like,
yeah.
Patriot's often been good at the high level too.
No, that's the thing. I think this point of power is mostly decorative, and the decks that were playing Patriot, they needed to have a really good reason to play Patriot already, and they still need to have a really good reason to play Patriot. And like in the notes, they mentioned that like, hey, he's been squeezed out of a lot of decks, and he's going to stay squeezed out. The 3/2 is not going to put him back in places where he's disappeared.
Right, the last time I had fun, the deck had Vanilla Abomination in it. You know what I mean? Like, it was fun. It was like they had those to like fill in when you needed to giant a lane, and you would never do that with Patriot.
It's fun
anymore.
with the Doom or the White Tiger. Like, there are fun things to do with Patriot that aren't Ultron. That's not what you do anymore.
No.
But like, there's more fun to be had. Like, if you're doing like White Tiger stuff. I guess maybe with Ravona. That's like the only way.
You can't use Ravona anymore.
No!
Yeah.
All right. Patriot, you're dead to me. I'm sorry.
This might be a bad change.
I'm kind of disappointed by that. Not
because
that
Ravona Patriot Mystique was like a whole deal.
Yeah. Okay, Patriot deck that I think is fun. It's not good. Patriot Sauron. You have to get Patriot out first. But then all your Sauron hits get the Patriot buff.
Yeah, I think you've mentioned that concept to me. I've never seen it actually put into practice, but
great.
I've heard about it from you, Lauren.
Who doesn't want a 4/12 Typhoid Mary? Like, it's awesome.
Yeah,
you could do it with just Enchantress. Doesn't have to be Sauron. Anyway, I'm being silly. 1/9 Ebony Maw. Yes, please. Yum yum yum.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, one more in the OTA. Don't play Sauron Patriot. It's fun, but you have to play those two cards in a certain order.
I've tried it before in the past.
Red Wing goes from 3/4 to 3/5.
Yeah.
Does it get played anymore because of this?
It needs it.
I think it gets
it's an
played
awkward card.
Mostly the same, but like, hey, 3/5. Now, like, hey, it's stats.
Now we're talking.
You play it, and it's fine. You don't have to do the Red Wing thing. It's fine. You played a 3/5. You can sleep at night. It's cool.
My favorite part of this, it's like, oh yeah, Red Wing exists. I should check him out again. Because Red Wing came out, and then you're bored because everyone's like playing him, and that's no fun. And then you're on to being mad that your mirror's in the next new card. It's like, oh yeah, Red Wing's been out of the spotlight. And now everyone else will have had the same idea, and it won't be fun again.
Yeah, that's what happens in the OTAs. Then everybody tries out the new card. If you come back in like a week, people will have already moved on from Red Wing.
In like Snap, I'm such a not like the other girls.
Yeah, gotta be a hipster.
Everything else is doing, but nobody has fun playing mirrors all the time. Like, that's not fun for anyone.
I definitely have the most fun when I'm playing not only a deck of my own creation, but one that is a little unusual, a little off the beaten path.
Oh, I wanted you to say, like, I have the most fun staring into a mirror.
Mirrors a lot. Like, if I end up playing a mirror, it'll be like a different kind of surfer deck, or like a different kind of apocalypse discard deck or something. Like, that's about as close as I ever have to worry
just
about.
A different flavor.
Yeah, the meta always feels best when it's just like we see different things. Just why they should nerf negative. Tired of seeing it. Okay.
Hey, that might be relevant for my homework assignment, but we're not there yet. On to our side quests. First up, weekly secret homework. It was Ben's week to assign. Ben, what was the homework this week?
All right. This one was very inspired in my desire to not do a what if themed secret homework for once, because I feel like for some reason for the past 4 months it's just been all what if all the time. Maybe that's because that's how long that's the most recent season. I guess there are reasons why for the past 4 months we're just talking about what if, consistently. But I was like, no, we're not doing a what if themed secret homework. Nope. Instead, having just given co-op game recommendations for the last secret homework, I'm going to solicit some recommendations. So, what's a movie you wish I'd seen? That's how I said it in the episode. Not with a whole bunch of premeditation. Those are just the words that popped out. So that's the secret homework. What's a movie you wish I'd seen?
You're first. What's a movie you wish you'd seen?
Okay.
Is it reverse for you? Is it a movie you wish we'd seen? Or is it a movie, is it still a movie you wish you'd seen?
I thought about it. I thought about multiple interpretations. What could be done? I don't know. I was waffling on it all the way up until still right now. So I was thinking about movies that I'd seen that, I don't know. Should I be recommending a movie that I haven't seen that I would like to see? Or should I be, I don't know. There are a lot of movies I would like to see. I'd like to see that new Bong Joon-ho film.
The movie list is long.
Haven't seen it. It left the theater by my home, so I'll probably catch it on streaming. But no, I guess I'll recommend a film. Bottoms. You should see Bottoms. I think maybe it's streaming on Prime Video. I don't know if you've seen that.
Oh yeah, because I was looking at things on Prime and it was recommended for you. Bottoms.
Yeah, that movie is.
Oh, of course I've seen this. Yes,
the hilarious title.
I had to double check it was the movie I was thinking of. Of course I've seen this. Yes.
Okay, well, if you've both seen Bottoms, then
I have not. It's just only been recommended.
Okay, well, you should see it. But also, Lauren, have you seen Dix the Musical?
No, I haven't.
Okay, that's on Max. That's what I'm recommending.
Okay, that's my assignment. I got it.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm assigning next week's homework.
It's a lot though. If you want to tap out, if it's not to your taste, I bet it'll be to your taste. But I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know anything
you
about it.
Giving Lauren extra super homework.
There's a
I don't know.
Have you seen the IT Crowd?
Yeah.
Yes.
My favorite episode. This is a show that I would show other people an episode in the middle when I sold them the show. And I think it's season 2, episode 1, but the episode with Gay the Musical, just endlessly hilarious. And that's what you've made me think of.
I think you'll. Okay. That's what I think.
I'm just reminiscing about the IT
Crowd. Got fun songs.
Such a good show.
It's super not child appropriate or safe for work or whatever. So I don't know. Don't watch it during your shift or whatever.
Got it. Well, I work in the basement away from my TV. Ree, what movie do you wish Ben had seen?
Okay, the two I picked were the two. Sorry, hopefully not too hard to find because I picked them. They were courtesy of Late Night Ree. There's a separate Ree from the Ree you see before you. And she very much desired to see these two movies at random points years ago. I wanted to see them so bad and they weren't on anything streaming. So they're two movies I own on the Google Play Store or whatever. Everyone buys movies digitally or licenses them because we don't get to own anything anymore. Not even in reality. Everything is a subscription. Welcome to our boring dystopia. Okay.
Ownership is for corporations.
So what I have picked are the duo, and I've actually talked about these both to you, and I think not actually on the podcast maybe, but in our banter around, except for the first one I think we actually did. The first one, also partially in honor of the late Val Kilmer, I don't think should be news to anyone, it's been out for a while, is Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. We've talked about it. Right, it's Robert Downey Jr. playing the one character I've only ever seen. I've only seen that in Marvel movies for Robert Downey Jr. and that's just what he plays.
Tropic Thunder is so good.
Oh, you're right. I have seen Tropic Thunder.
Okay.
He looked a little different in that one. Okay.
Yes, he did.
I didn't remember right away. Okay. But yeah, Val Kilmer plays a gay detective. Gay Perry's very, very good. It's just a real fun detective. I am such a sucker. I watched the TV show Wednesday lately, and I had not. Okay, sorry, we're side tangenting, but like, I didn't think I would get into it because my friend that's really into it is all into the ship of like Wednesday and her roommate. Like, and I'm just like not a shipper.
Reasonable.
I'm firmly on dry ground. I did eventually have someone explain that the shipping it's not about, it's from relationship. It's not actually naval or boat related. But if you also didn't know that.
You're not putting these two characters into a box and
a
having
boat.
it
That
delivered
was my initial thought,
yes,
continent. Is that they were being shipped in a boat together. Anyway, but like, it's set up, she's a detective and she's like a young feminist and like, I was so into that show. Okay.
It's a very fun show.
Okay, you've seen it
too? There was actually just like this like real dry spell of fan fiction during COVID because of supply chain issues. No shipping.
What? Stop. I'm sure exactly the opposite is true. My child and her friends are very into shipping. They have learned clever names for all of the different possible ships in their fandom. I feel like sometimes that's all shippers do. I could be totally wrong, but I feel like a huge part of shipping is just coming up with the fun names. You don't actually care about the
What if these people that we like to imagine being in a relationship were also fruits that were in a relationship, and then they draw pictures of them as fruits? This is like my understanding of the shipping world. Okay, so the other movie besides Kiss Kiss Bang Bang is the movie called The 10. And it is a compilation of comedy sketches, loosely and very irreverently based around the 10 Commandments. And it's like David Wayne, Michael Ian Black, Michael Showalter. It's that crowd of comedy from Stella, from The State.
The State?
Yeah, all those old young millennial titles. So, so it's a good time. Those are mine too. Brought to you by Late Night Reese. If you don't like them, it was never me.
I'm interested. I will endeavor to watch all of the recommendations this week.
Also, I told Lauren she had to watch House of Flying Daggers. As much as I said I hate romance, it turns out that if you get to fly across trees and fight with swords while you're doing it, it makes it cooler. Anyway,
I thought it was so funny when you made that comment, and I did not go off on this at the time, but I feel almost exactly the opposite of you. I will be way more into a game or movie if there is a romance I am into. That is something that I love. Although I will say I hate a TV show that does the will they, won't they, and they stretch it out forever. That drives me crazy. But if you will they, won't they me for one season, and then I get the payoff and they get to be happy together for the rest of it, I love that.
That's real life. Real life has a season worth of will they, won't they. That's fine. But real life doesn't have 7 seasons of
what
will
I
they,
find
won't they.
so satisfying in a story is when someone is there's no holdup because someone purposefully or accidentally withheld information for someone. Someone is okay, here's an emergency. This is what's happening right now. These are the people not to trust. Here's what's going on. And the other person's right, that makes sense. I've absorbed that. And we have no ridiculous side nonsensory in the story for that. And then we move forward.
No miscommunication for miscommunication's sake to just
and then we don't have to have a lot of scenes about how we miscommunicated and that ruined everything. Okay, anyway.
I'm so with you. I'm 110% there. Yeah, I hate that.
Yes. Okay, my movies. for those that don't know, which may include you too. I don't know. I'm sure it doesn't. I'm super into animation. I always have been. Don't get me wrong. I can get into a live action movie, and there were a few on my short list that were live action. But honestly, always just there's something magical about the medium of animation. I don't care what the genre is. I love animation.
One of our greatest inventions.
Especially 2D animation. 3D can do it right, but 2D is just, there's something intensely human about it that I love. And my first choice is Kiki's Delivery Service. This is my favorite movie, bar none. It's a Ghibli. I imagine lots of people have seen it, which is why I have it 2 queued up. But this is, it's coming of age. It's very like Inside Out before Inside Out. And, which is not to say it's anything to do with feelings or anything like that, but it is like, it's a lovely coming of age story. And I think something that I love about Kiki's Delivery Service and My Neighbor Totoro and several other Ghibli movies is there is not a clear antagonist. Like, the antagonist of Totoro is the mother's illness. Like, that's really it. And yet they can tell such a compelling human story. And Kiki's Delivery Service, the antagonist is kind of growing up. Like, it's lovely. I highly recommend it.
Oh my gosh. If you've played, there's
check it out.
Board game called Broom Service that's basically like Kiki, the board game.
Oh,
you should check it out.
I know the name of it. There's a solo RPG that I like, a tabletop RPG that I kickstarted, and I can't remember what it's called, but it's very Kiki's inspired.
This is one you have to play with
the city. Yeah, most games are. I think the concept of solo role playing games is very fascinating. I haven't actually played one, even though I own a few.
I have friends that do it all the time and enjoy it. But
yeah, it's kind of
I play video games
akin to like
usually.
Journaling. Mm-hmm. Like it still is like, a creative flex and all that. But I don't know if it's collaborative storytelling anymore.
I would like to do, but never. It's always in the future somehow.
Okay. My second pick is Wolf Children. This is an absolutely beautiful movie. If you are a parent, it will guaranteed make you cry, but it might make you cry anyway. It is the story of a woman who is raising 2 children who can transform into wolves. And how do you deal with that? How do you deal with children who can transform into wolves? And how are they going to grow up? Are they going to grow up as humans? Or are they going to grow up as wolves? Where can they do so safely without getting, endangered themselves or causing danger to others? And it is, anyway, a single mother is obviously very touching to me as, I've been a single mother for like 5 years. It is, again, beautiful animation, a beautiful story. I highly recommend it to everybody. Because everybody has experiences with growing up. Maybe it's a coming of age story too, but with a lot more of the parental perspective involved. And it is also it's not just sweet and heavy. It's very funny. Like the antics of a human mother trying to raise 2 wolf children it's humorous. So those are my recommendations. And now I'm wondering if for next week, if we should talk about some of these movies or if we should just assign homework and the movies can be a background thing.
I'd be happy to watch some of these movies and talk about them and stuff.
Okay.
I'm down for it.
I don't know whose homework turn it would be. Would that be you,
it's
Lauren?
Mine.
Do you have one that's burning a hole in your pocket?
No, I mean, I've always got a list of some in case I forget to prepare. But I think we could just make the homework to be watching these movies and talk about them. And it's not very snappy, but that's okay. You're here for us and our chemistry, and we're just here to have fun. And then I can assign the homework next week.
It's a dealio.
Great. I'll make sure that all of those movies are in the show notes or the YouTube description. And in a place where you two can get them too. If you like what you heard, like, comment, subscribe, review, whatever. Like, do the things. Interact with us like a podcast. If you want to comment, you can do that on YouTube or Spotify. can also come hang out in Discord with us, where we have a handful of channels on the Snap Judgments League Discord. Instructions to come find us are in the show notes or video description. It's fun. It's called the Speakeasy. It's a great place to be. We also have a channel dedicated to climbing. In climbing ladder, if you want some accountability when you're trying to climb rank, to help you be more responsible with your snapping and retreating. We're part of the Snap Judgments Network. That's how we're on their Discord, where you can listen to other great shows like Snap Judgments, previously mentioned, from Pulse Glazer and Roy. They post on Saturdays, and they always have guests. From often creators, every now and then just somebody from the community, but it is a lovely podcast.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, if you want to talk movies with us, Discord would be a great place. Or you can hear our thoughts next week. Same Snap time, same Snap channel.
Yay!
I like the giggles in the middle of it.
Okay, I realized something when I was talking to my friend Ruka earlier today, is that our generation particularly would both love and abuse the shit out of a Groundhog Day situation. Like, it's always presented as a punishment.
Oh yeah.
And pain, but if we could just have a day, fuck it. I don't care that my video game that I played would reset. There's a million tiny indie video games I can knock out a day that have been on my list.
Yeah.
Book.
How many movies could you knock out?
Right? There's so much. It's all of the stuff you don't have time for.
So right after secret homework, when I couldn't I chose two of the most not safe for work or whatever, not safe for polite company or whatever. I chose the most buck wild movies. But I could have chosen Palm Springs, a great Groundhog Day movie that is about just that. Well, it's about a lot of things, but just that is that's part of it. The Andy Samberg character has got himself a pretty sweet setup, or so he has convinced himself. I thought he was
trying to escape it. It's been a while since I've seen it.
It takes a while for him to get there.
He is not trying to escape it until he accidentally ropes Christine Miliotti's character into the loopiness, and then she wants to get out.
Right.
And then he realizes that maybe just watch the movie. I don't know. I'm not here to regurgitate the entire. But yeah, y'all see where he's going.
Point, they're doing something very fun and different every day, and she uses it to learn rocket science or quantum physics or something.
She figures out how to get herself out of the time loop, and
it's a great
but we
movie.
could keep fucking around forever.
To learn all the languages.
Yeah, I know. I'm very sympathetic to that. The time enough at last kind of Twilight Zone thing, but you step on your glasses and the whole thing's.
Yeah.
I could watch enough anime to understand it again.
You could, you would never run out of stuff. With access to the internet now, you would never run out of stuff that you could do in one day.
You could entertain yourself with the breadth of human culture and stuff.
I shouldn't say never, because forever is forever.
That is the nature of it.
I used to want to live forever, and then I found a Wikipedia page on...
And then you listen to the Queen song.
I don't know that one.
Who wants to live forever?
Oh, it's been a while since we've had a...
Bingo, bingo, fronga.
Let's...
Random must die. Or something. I haven't heard that song in a long time.
I don't know when we're going to get in trouble, but let's avoid that moment.
Well, then we should cut that part. Cut before that part. No, cut in the middle of it.
Everyone will love that.
Cut in the middle of it. That would be good. That would be funny.
Okay. Well, maybe. It was a Wikipedia article about long-term events in the universe, and there was one that was Niagara Falls will erode itself into non-existence. And that was the first time that I was I'm okay if I'm not around for that. what? Like, anyway.
Really?
That's when I was like,
always figured I could like Doctor Who it up. It's like, hey, someone comes along, you get bored of them, that's fine. They'll die out.
that's kind of fucked up. Let's be real. Doctor Who has some damage from that. I should say the Doctor.
Do y'all watch Invincible?
Yes. Well, I haven't seen the newest season, but I saw the first two.
Oh, it's so good. And then like there's this scene with the train, and you're like, too far. Why? I'm a person. I have feelings. Okay, sorry.
Well, anyway, there's a good episode in the most recent season.
Oh,
there is an immortal character on Invincible, aptly called the Immortal.
I figured that's who you were talking about.
Yes, he's got a good episode this season.
Oh, I look forward to it. I'm like, I don't know, 2 or 3 episodes in. Yeah. So anyway, that was when I decided I wanted to live to be 300 instead of forever.
Yeah.
Oh, you just set a lower, yeah.
I mean, I would take, I don't know the exact number I would take. I'd take like 5,000 or something like that. Like I would enjoy having that much time as long as I was in decent health. Not forever though. 300 felt like achievable. Here's the thing. You don't have to live long enough for them to get the human lifespan to 300. You just have to live long enough that they extend it to 150. And then by the time you're 150, maybe they've extended it to 175.
Yeah, I was also thinking the same thing. You know, maybe just creep into it.
I was thinking there's the Sid Meier 4X game Alpha Centauri that I talk about a lot. And one of the faction
like twice.
leaders. Well, I talk about it a lot. I don't know. You're not always around when I talk about it, but I talk about it a lot. Or rather, I think about it a lot. But yeah, every time you like research a new technology or build a new kind of base facility or do a secret project, they're, wonders of the world or whatever, you get like a fun little quotation from In the Universe. And like,
yes.
The faction that's all about like economics and making mad money and stuff, their faction leader has like all the best quotes in my opinion. But his thought, like once you discover the fucking immortality recipe thing, whatever the technology is, I forget what it's called. But his quote is, "I plan to live forever, of course, but barring that, I'd settle for a couple 1,000 years. Even 500 would be pretty nice."
Exactly.
That's always stuck with me.
He put it in a nutshell.